This is my audience. Okay. Your life could change the same way mine did on July 17th. I got a phone call that my best friend's brother and two sisters were life-flighted to the hospital. I had to drive my best friend to the hospital knowing that her brother wasn't going to make it, and there was a slight chance that one of her sisters would as well. Her brother and sister died, and her sister is now paralyzed from the waist down. Her brother and his friend were in the very back, and they were not wearing seatbelts. The other friend was in the back as well, but she had her seatbelt on and was able to exit the vehicle safely with little injuries. This is the wreck. This was the brother and that was the best friend. They both died in the back from not wearing their seatbelts. As you can tell, the back was barely touched, but the front was destroyed. And that's why the little girl with her seatbelt on was able to exit safely. His life could have been saved by the simplest action of putting a seatbelt on to prevent him from flying forward between the seats. You should always wear your seatbelt in a vehicle. Wearing a seatbelt helps prevent injuries, saves your lives, as well as others. Wearing a seatbelt will prevent you from being ejected from the vehicle in a collision. If you have ever been in an accident, you know that the slightest fender bender can cause your body to be thrown around a little. You fling forward into the dashboard or side to side, depending on where the area of the car was hit. According to the Disease Control Prevention, seatbelts prevent drivers and passengers from being ejected during a crash. People not wearing a seatbelt are 3 times more likely to be ejected from a vehicle during a crash. In an event of a more serious crash, wearing a seatbelt could be the difference between life or death. In a fatal crash, it is estimated that 3 of 4 people ejected from the vehicle died due to serious injuries. You may not think a seatbelt with 2 straps does much, but the way the seatbelt is set up to decrease your chances of being seriously injured or killed. Safety features on seatbelts consist of the dinging noise in the car. Car companies have taken many precautions to ensure that the safety of their drivers is being put first, including a dinging noise when someone is not buckled. It may be annoying and not stop until you buckle, but it could be the reason on why you get to walk away from a wreck. According to brainboard.ca, seatbelts continue to be the single most effective safety measure to reduce serious and fatal injuries in the event of a collision. The seatbelt is designed to cross the body by the chest and the lap. This allows the force of the impact to be spread across the strongest part of your body. While slamming on the brakes or being impacted by force of a collision, the seatbelt tightens and restrains you from being flung around. The force of a crash is typically more than your body can handle on its own. This causes people to not be in control of their bodies, leading to injuries from hitting things inside of the car. This can also be another human, not just the seat in front of you or the window. While whiplash, broken bones, and concussions are common with severe crashes, the risk of these injuries is reduced when your body is restrained in a seatbelt. Wearing a seatbelt not only protects people from being ejected from the car, but also prevents injuries from happening within the vehicle. Seatbelts save not only your life, but other lives as well. In Oklahoma, it is legal for the backseat passenger to not wear a seatbelt. I think that's kind of crazy, but that's how it is. And if you did not know, you put the people in the front seat at greater risk of a serious injury if you are in the back and you don't wear your seatbelt. This is caused by the passengers being thrown into the back of their seats and further injuring the other passengers. According to a study conducted at the University of Tokyo in 2002, the risk of death for the people in the front seat increases by 600% if the passengers in the back are not buckled up. Wearing your seatbelt also encourages those around you to wear your seatbelt, potentially saving their lives from a serious injury. No matter where you're sitting in the car, you need to wear your seatbelt. It can save your lives and others. Today, we have discussed the many reasons why wearing a seatbelt is beneficial to everyone in the car. Take a moment and think any second you could receive the same phone call I did about a loved one, or another loved one could receive one about you. And the biggest regret would be that they weren't wearing their seatbelt. I guarantee you would never forget to wear your seatbelt or have others put it on whenever they get in the vehicle. Always remember, seatbelts save lives, reduce the risk of serious injuries or death. And if you wouldn't want your loved one or another family member to not wear their seatbelts and increase their chances if they were in a wreck, then you should wear your seatbelt as well. Next time you get in the car, take 2 seconds to put on your seatbelt, and it might as well just save your life or others.